picture was taken after 1910. Berries that were sold at the auction shed were then moved to the transfer shed in the foreground. This is an early transfer shed that stood on the site of the present freight depot, on the corner of Railroad and Wilson Streets. Berries were loaded into refrigerator cars from the transfer shed. The Chadbourn Plate Ice Company is directly behind the transfer shed. This was the earliest ice company. East of the ice company and facing the railroad tracks was the sawmill, the crate factory, and warehouses of the Brown Mercantile Company. This is a later transfer shed located on Railroad Avenue, on the west side of Brown, looking west. The depot is in the background. The train in the right side of the picture is on the Elrod Conway track. Behind the depot is the roof line of the Harrelson Hotel, which stood on the west side of the Elrod track. This building burned in the late 1930s. Notice the water tank on the right side of the tall building. On the right is the Bailey Drug Store, later the Jolly Building. Next to it is the Bufkin Building. Miss Bufkin was a milliner and operated a hat shop in this building. At the far left is the Atlantic Coastline water tank. This is the Harrelson Hotel, whose roofline was behind the depot in a previous photo. Pauline Huffam Council of Hallsborough said that the hotel was owned and operated by Van and Betty Williams Harrelson. Betty Williams Harrelson was Pauline's great-aunt. Pauline's mother, Lucy Williams, worked at the hotel. She met Pauline's father, Tom Huffam, who would visit the hotel when other railroad workers were staying there. Pauline also stated that John Elliott's mother and father stayed there for a long time when they were first married. The hotel had a parlor and a lobby across the front. It also had a large dining room and kitchen, and of course the rooms for rent. Rosa Nobles furnished this photo of her grandmother, Rosa Bufkin. Rosa said her grandmother came to America when she was 2 years old from Berlin, Germany. Miss Bufkin is the milliner previously mentioned. She made and sold hats in the Bufkin Building. Rosa Noble's father, U.S. Bufkin, joined his mother in business, which was located on Brown Street, which later was where Horace Bullock had his clothing store. Rosa also furnished this very interesting photo of her grandfather's store on her mother's side of the family. Her grandfather, Harley William Rabin, is the man on the right with his left hand on his hip, wearing a vest. Give special attention to the two entertainers in the center front. Mr. Rabin sure knew how to promote his big sale. Ice for refrigerator cars to move strawberries to the northern markets was an essential industry. For the first few years, ice was imported from Wilmington. In 1901, the Fruit Growers Express built a large ice house where the present freight depot now stands. This was the Plate Ice Company that you saw in a previous picture. This is the Independent Ice Company of Wilmington, built about 1908, and located south of Chadbourn, parallel with the Tabor City Road. The man in the picture is loading ice into a railroad car. Notice the long platform in the background. This is another view of the Independent Ice Company of Wilmington. Ms. Moores in her history called this business something of a white elephant. She said miles of track, platforms, and sheds were constructed. Notice the ice on the platform. This is still another view of the ice plant. This business was established at the time farmers began growing the famous Klondike berry. In 1908, Mr. Frank Wesley grew for market the first Klondike variety berries. Chadbourn became the largest strawberry market in the world. The strawberry industry grew at a tremendous pace. In 1900, 17,032 quart crates were shipped. In 1905, 317,032 quart crates were shipped. In 1907, the peak year, 347,032 quart crates were shipped. This was 1,623 railroad carloads. The largest one-day shipment in 1907 was 180 railroad carloads, containing 36,000 crates, or 1,152,000 quarts of berries, all harvested and shipped between sunrise and sunset, requiring 15,000 laborers. In April of 1905, transportation broke down, and for 10 days during the height of the season, not a refrigerator car was available. It was estimated that 1,000 crates were left on the vine to decay in the fields. It required 2 trains to haul away the berries which rotted before they could be shipped. The rotting fruit was dumped in white marsh. Bill of ladings were given to the growers for their berries at the transfer shed. The Railroad Refrigerator Car Company, negotiating through the legal department of the Fruit Growers Association, settled with the growers. $135,000 was paid directly to the claimants upon presentation of their bill of ladings.